KTM is in hot water. For years, there have been rumors circulating that the 790 and 890 engines have serious reliability problems, and a lot of this felt like urban legends for a while. There were the occasional engine problems, and KTM critics were quick to jump all over it, adding fuel to the fire that KTMs are simply unreliable. But now that these motors have been in production for a while and riders are hitting critical mile markers on their bikes, things are really not looking good for these engines. Now look, let's just be honest and call a spade a spade. KTM does not have the most stellar record for reliability. The build qualities of their bikes are kind of known to be hit or miss. There's transmission problems, oil starvation, head gasket issues, and now the infamous cam wear issue. And I can attest to this as a 3-time KTM or Husqvarna owner. I've had a KTM 250 dirt bike, an RC 390 training mule for the track, and a Husqvarna FE 501 enduro bike. On the Husqvarna, in the first 100 miles I had that motorcycle, I already had to replace the master slave cylinder for the clutch. And then people online told me that, well, that's just what happens with those bikes. Kind of inexcusable in my opinion. And these quality control suspicions have only been compounded in the fact that KTM produces bikes with Bajaj Auto in India and with CF Moto as a partnership. But for a long time, these issues were inconsistent at best. For every one person that reported a critical failure, there were dozens of people reporting that they were loyal, die-hard KTM guys. KTM provides a riding experience that is unparalleled in off-road and adventure riding, so whatever quirks they may have are worth it because their bikes are so awesome and exciting. As an example of a quote, "Many of the previous problems found on KTMs presented themselves early in the ownership period of the motorcycle, allowing for warranty work. Or they were quickly fixed on previous year model bikes, and that allowed for another loophole for KTM apologists. As some riders would say, the Duke 390 is a great motorcycle, just don't buy a pre-2018 year bike." But in the last 6 months or so, this excessive cam wear issue is spreading like wildfire. This cam problem is presenting itself from anywhere from 10 to 15,000 miles right around the time of the first valve check on the machine. And that really stinks because KTM owners probably aren't going to hit that kind of mileage before their factory warranty expires, leaving them high and dry. First, it was alleged that it was restricted to pre-2021 790 and 890 engine owners, but that's been debunked. As later model year 790 owners were reaching 10,000 miles and getting their first valve checks done, they were also experiencing excessive cam wear. Then this happened with the 890 models, and it's also been seen in the Norden 901 models. The problem is egregious amount of wear on the cam lobe. The cam shafts inside of an engine are meant to last the life of an engine, and you would expect to see very small amounts of scoring on a typical engine when you go and inspect the valves. But these KTM valves are scoring so deep and causing big grooves in the cams, as much as a couple of millimeters. Owners have been speculating online as to what exactly is causing this early camshaft failure, and some people think that it's overly narrow cam followers, perhaps a lack of lubrication, or just simply poorly machined parts. And so why is this bad news? Well, let's explain for the layman who maybe don't have an intricate understanding of engines. Excessive camshaft wear is going to have a very significant impact on your engine. The camshaft controls the operation and timing of the intake and exhaust valves in an engine. Excessive cam wear can lead to reduced valve lift, incorrect timing, misfires, and poor combustion, and ultimately complete failure of the valve train, which will cause the whole engine to go boom. So if thousands of people are having documented cases of excessive camshaft wear early in their motorcycle's lifespan, KTM should probably release some sort of recall notice, right? Well, they haven't, and they've actually made statements claiming the exact opposite. KTM says that they have already resolved issues that may be contributing factors of this wear behavior by making changes on the manufacturing side, including introducing an additional oil strainer from 2020 on and wider cam followers beginning with the 2021 units. Quote, "The camshafts used on the LC8C platform have no inherent defect. KTM said in an official communication with MCN. This applies to both the hardness of the camshafts and the width of the finger followers, as well as the sufficient lubrication of these components. They also claim that only 29 motorcycles have been fixed under warranty in the United Kingdom for this camshaft failure, which sounds just like a blatant lie to me. For motorcycles prior to the 2021 model year, 790 owners were asked to take them to the dealership for pre-inspection on this camshaft wear. Cam replacement would then be possibly fixed under a goodwill program. But based on what KTM owners have been saying online, or the over 9,000 members of the Facebook group KTM Cam Failure have been saying, it's hit or miss on whether or not these owners are actually paying out of pocket for this fix. And that doesn't even include the 890 models that also seem to show the excessive cam wear issue, according to the over 10,000 members on another Facebook group. They've experienced cam wear and failure on the 790, 890 Adventure models and the subsequent Husqvarna Norden models as well. Even Austrian motorcycle engineering and analysis firm Kuber GmbH, which provides laboratory analysis of engines for as part of their main offerings, showed that 2023 890 models appear to also have excessive cam wear issues. What has 3 cylinders, an Öhlins rear shock, and enough torque to rotate the earth beneath you? Why, it's the MT09 SP giveaway bike on YamiNoob.co, of course. We finally have one of these as a giveaway, and you're not going to want to miss it. Head over to the website and get 10x entries for every dollar you spend. We've got hats, t-shirts, keychains, but best of all, I recommend becoming a member to join our community and get automatic entries to win. You can stack them up and apply them to giveaways, and they never expire. We have some amazing bikes coming up that you're not going to want to miss. 3-day giveaways, top shelf leader bikes, and much more to round out this year. So head over to YamiNoob.co and get 10x entries to win the MT09 SP giveaway. KTM also suspiciously increased the factory warranty to 2 years on all of the 2024 model year bikes, with the caveat that all service must be done at a KTM dealer. After months of ongoing cam failure issues and over 10,000 disgruntled customers, KTM finally released a statement on that Facebook group, which you can actually check out in the link in the description below. They essentially issued an awkward apology while still adamantly sticking to their guns that this is the issue that only relates to the 2018 to 2020 790 models, when it clearly extends to the 890 models through 2023 based on customer reported findings. So is this goodwill program going to be extended to all those other motorcycles too? Because they seem to be plagued with similar issues. And why did they wait until 2024 to acknowledge design flaws that date back to 6 years ago? Online sleuths have also determined that the heads for the 2024 model year engines have a different part number, which indicates that there was an issue with the previous year heads that have never been admitted by KTM. And since many of these new model years are not listed as having faulty equipment as the 2018 and 2020 are, many owners are getting shafted by the dealership, blaming lack of maintenance despite owners maintaining their bikes to the exact schedule specified by KTM in the service manual. And this comes at a really bad time because people have been speculating online for years now that KTM's partnership with CF Moto would lead to poor quality motorcycles, although this seems to be more of a KTM design issue rather than a situation of the bikes being built or produced in China. It doesn't seem to be an assembly issue based on CF Moto. And that kind of begs the question if we're going to see this excessive cam wear issue on the CF Moto 800 NK platform motorcycles, which use the 790 engine from KTM, although they are in a slightly detuned state. And truthfully, KTM is already in a really tough spot financially speaking. They just laid off a bunch of employees in Austria, and they recently moved production of some of their motorcycles to India and Thailand, furthering their globalization efforts. And with the history of questionable reliability to begin with, where brand new motorcycles leak oil, head gasket issues, and all kinds of other random stuff, this ongoing cam saga is not helping any KTM reliability concerns. Across the board for most motorcycle manufacturers, build quality and quality control has been increasing steadily. I mean, even Ducati or Aprilia haven't had something to this level of a scandal in quite some time. You could maybe point to the fact that a few RS660s had engine failure in the first model year run, but Aprilia fixed all of those with no qualms, and they never denied any issues. Things are looking pretty bleak for KTM, and honestly, honestly, unless they just come out and admit that there's something wrong with these motorcycles, I don't think it's gonna get any better. KTM, in my opinion, should do a full recall, full assessment, and a full goodwill program for all 790 and 890 platform engines. With notorious problems for reliability and now backlash for moving production overseas, KTM's in a really tough spot. They've ignored responsibility on these engines, downplayed the severity of the issues, and passed the blame onto the consumer, which is ridiculous. I think it's gonna take a ton of goodwill to recover from this story. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments if you have a KTM 790 or 890 engine that's had this issue, or if you've been hearing about this. I'd love to know, and I'd love to hear from you. And let's get this video out to all the KTM owners, because we see you, we hear you, this is a real problem, and we really think here at Yami Noob that KTM should address this. Thanks so much for checking out today's video. I truly do appreciate it. We'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later. And just like that, the video ends. Much like a wave crashing onto shore, all beautiful things must come to an end. But you know what doesn't have to end is the dialogue between me and you. Head over to yamnoob.co, click the link in the description box down below. You can keep talking to me on the Discord server. I'm on there every single day, and my way of saying thank you to you is I give away these fantastic motorcycles. This is an MT-09 SP. Don't miss your chance to win this thing. One of the spiciest and coolest giveaway bikes we've done yet. Hit that link down below and become a member, but while you wait, keep watching the video right over here on Yami Noob.